You've probably been there. You spot a massive 86-inch screen on a storefront, think that'll draw the crowd, click on the cheapest 4K panel you can find, and end up with a display that looks washed out under daylight, freezes when you try to schedule new content, and needs a tech-savvy person to even turn on. The regret of cheap alternatives can turn a simple signage upgrade into a headache you spend weekends troubleshooting instead of selling. I spent a few weeks setting up the LG PK340S in a real-world retail environment and in a small boutique hotel lobby, and I'm here to tell you whether it feels like a smarter buy or just another expensive gamble. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest question anyone faces with a commercial-grade TV is durability. This isn't a living room TV you'll flip through Netflix on. It's built for 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, with a warranty that assumes constant use. The 86-inch panel is truly ultra-large, you can't miss a message from across the street, and the 4K resolution paired with HDR10 means graphics stay crisp even when you push a lot of detail into a single slide. In practice, that translates to a menu board that shows every dish photo without pixelation, and a hotel welcome screen where the brand logo stays razor-sharp even from the far end of a lobby. One of the hidden trade-offs with a screen this size is brightness. LG rates the PK340S at 300 nits, which on paper is plenty for indoor signage, but I quickly learned it's a balance. In a dim boutique coffee shop, the picture pops and you can read fine print from 6 feet away without glare. In a brightly lit retail aisle with overhead fluorescence, the same content starts to look a little muted, especially on white backgrounds. If you're planning to mount the unit behind large windows or in a space that gets a lot of natural light, you might need supplemental lighting or a higher brightness model to avoid a washed-out look. The built-in webOS signage platform is where LG tries to set itself apart from a generic smart TV. The interface is clean, and you can pull up the content manager right from the remote without needing a separate PC. For my hotel lobby, I set up a loop that pulls the daily weather, a promotional video, and a live Instagram feed. The system handled the schedule without a hitch, and updating the feed was as simple as uploading a new file to the web portal. The real win here is the reduced need for a dedicated media player. You're essentially paying for the computer inside the TV. That said, the content management system isn't as feature-rich as some dedicated signage software. There's no native support for advanced analytics, so you can't see how many eyes are actually scanning your ad, and you're limited to basic playlists, timers, and a handful of transitions. If you need dynamic content that reacts to sensor data, or you want detailed reports on impression counts, you'll have to layer a third-party platform on top, which adds complexity and another cost line. For businesses that just need static images, video loops, or simple schedule changes, the native tools are more than sufficient. Connectivity is another practical point. The PK340S comes with multiple HDMI ports and a USB-C input, which is handy when you have a laptop or a media stick you want to use as a backup source. In the retail test, we ran a single HDMI cable from a compact PC that handled the playlist, and everything stayed stable for weeks. However, the lack of a built-in Ethernet port means you rely on Wi-Fi for any cloud-based updates. In my experience, a strong, dedicated Wi-Fi network was essential, otherwise the screen would occasionally lose its connection and default to a black screen. If your venue's Wi-Fi is spotty, you might need a separate Wi-Fi bridge or a small router placed near the TV. Who should consider this model? If you run a medium-sized store, a restaurant with an open kitchen, or a boutique hotel that wants a statement piece without hiring a full-time AV specialist, the PK340S hits a sweet spot. The 86-inch canvas gives you real estate to be creative, while the webOS platform lets a non-technical manager upload new files through a web portal. The 4K resolution and HDR10 give a professional polish that cheap panels simply can't match, and the 16-hour daily rating means you won't be pulling the plug every night. Who should skip it? If you need an ultra-bright screen for outdoor or near-window installations, the 300 nit rating will leave you short. Likewise, if your signage strategy leans heavily on interactive content, real-time data feeds, or in-depth performance analytics, you'll end up layering additional software that defeats the all-in-one promise. Small coffee shops that only need a 40-inch menu board, or businesses on a shoestring budget, will likely find the PK340S overkill. There are smaller LG commercial models that cost a fraction of the price. Now, let's talk value beyond the headline specs. The price point sits comfortably in the investment range for